What's up guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be installing a set of factory Upfitter auxiliary switches on my 2025 GMC 3500 Denali Ultimate Dually. Now this same kit, these exact same steps will also work on any 2024 or newer 2500 or 3500 in the Denali Ultimate or the Denali Ultimate AT4 or AT4X trim level trucks. Basically, any new Sierra that has a center console as opposed to the folding flip down bench seat in the middle, this will work. This is probably going to be a very long video, so without further ado, let's get right into it. Now the kit consists of the replacement trim panel that does of course already have all 5 aux switches installed right before where the brake controller goes, as well as the cable that will go from the aux switches to the included fuse box. This will get mounted up right next to where our current fuse box is. A couple of push pin connectors, zip tie, this little thing, a couple of fuses, as well as some hardware. The one thing that's not seen in this video is one of the frequently purchased items on 404 Parts website when buying this kit, and that is the extension cable. After speaking with them, I found out that that is a required piece. That's on its way here and should hopefully show up while we're filming this video. So ultimately this will be the panel that gets removed, and the aux switches will be right in front of the brake controller. Step 1. Step 2. Now the next thing you're going to do is remove this bolt as well as these 3 in order to first remove this panel, and then this whole piece is going to pop right out. So after removing those 4 bolts, this will pop right out. And then this piece popped out way easier than I thought it was going to. I did open up the glove box just to give myself a little bit of extra leverage. Easy as that. We'll switch over to the other side. The first panel coming off is this one. So after removing this piece here, you'll remove this little bolt and this piece. There are 2 clips on the side as well as a little plastic tab on the bottom, so kind of pull out this way and it should pop right out. We're then going to remove all 4 of these bolts directly below the touchscreen. Started by getting the clip in the bottom right, clip in the bottom left, from the right and left sides. Lifting up kind of allowed me to pop all of the clips along the top at once and actually came out pretty easy. And then we got a series of connectors back there that are all going to have to be removed. A few more clips, a few more connectors, and this will pop right out. Next thing we'll be doing is removing all of these electrical components for the brake controller, the USB ports, the key fob. Taking all this stuff out to transfer over to the new trim piece. So we got the original trim piece out. All the components and electronics that are going to be transferred over have been removed and are ready to be swapped over. So we got the new panel, cup holder liner, cup holder trim, electronic components from underneath. Gonna swap all these over and get ready to be put back on. We got everything swapped over, everything on the new one. Before we install, we're going to get started on the wiring harness. I was playing around a little bit. You do not want to connect these before you put them through the firewall. It is very tough to depin. What I ended up doing was taking a pipe clamp, cutting it down to size, jamming this little guy in there, pulling like crazy, and then punch myself in the face. Sharp little piece of metal here. I do have a hard head, but soft skin. So yeah, a little bit of blood. Do not connect these before you put them through the firewall. Not fun. And I may have stabbed myself in the face, but hey, my terminal tool worked. Quick disconnect of the negative terminals on both batteries. left and right side. Now what I'm planning on doing is running the cable for the switches right along that red wire for my amp box, right across the hood here, and then down inside, and then that conveniently pops out. I don't know if you can quite see it in the dark, but that little bit, where's my camera? That little bit of daylight right there is right where that wire comes through. So what we're gonna do is mount our fuse box somewhere up here in this vicinity. Then we'll have that cable go right through that little plug. This is actually where the hood release cable goes. There is a small grommet up there, but the gentleman that installed my subs were kind enough to leave a little hole right there. That way we're able to see it. We're gonna pop the aux switch wire right through that little hole. All right, so the next thing we have to do is get this fuse box mounted up underneath the dash. This little cover facing down, that way we're able to access the fuses if need be. It says in the instructions that there may or may not be pre-drilled holes for both of these little screws. I removed all of this plastic, could not for the life of me find any pre-drilled screws. I also really couldn't find a spot to drill some screws in order to mount this that would not really mess with anything that's already there. Anything in this general area is going to be restricted just because of the movement of the steering column. And then we also have the brake pedal right here, and we definitely don't want to mess with the brakes, especially in a 9,000-pound truck. A couple things that we do have up under here that we have to kind of stay close to. One is pretty hard to see, but that little gray connector right there, pretty much in the center of the screen, that's where we're going to be plugging the fuse box itself into. And then also that little bit of daylight. I removed the grommet for the hood release. We're going to be routing the cable for power right through there. So I think my best bet is going to be to zip tie the fuse box onto the back of the HVAC system itself. That way it's up out of the way. I would have preferred to drill it into something to just make it look a little bit more factory, but it's pretty tight in here. So we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. All right, so we have the fuse box zip tied up behind the HVAC here. About as secure as it can be with zip ties. I'm going to cut those ends off here in a minute and just slid the pedal monster over. That way they won't rattle. That black cable there is ready to have the other side routed through the firewall. Gray connector above it is ready to go. I do have the switches, the wire for the auxiliary switches themselves just kind of dangled up under the HVAC and then tucked behind this piece of trim through this little hole, running right up through here. But it's not long enough, and FedEx did not get our extension here in time. So I think I'm going to just get everything kind of hung up in place, but wait to plug everything in until tomorrow when the extension shows up. So I've got these staged onto the battery. None of them are tightened down yet, but what I'll do next is go and grab the harness, drape it across here. That way it's kind of ready for tomorrow. When we get that last little extension piece, we'll be able to put on the final touches. So we got the harness in place, not bolted in, but ready. I did replace the 4 clips along the top with the larger ones that 404 included. Looks pretty factory, looks pretty good. And then I'm just gonna leave this wire loose for now. In the morning, once the extension comes, what we'll do is we'll route it down along with that red cable there, right through that little spot in the firewall. Get this plugged in, put the dash back together and we'll lift some AUX switches. According to FedEx, the extension should be here in the morning. We're close, almost done. Tomorrow has come. That day is today. Extension cable is here. Let's throw this thing in, wrap this up. Before I get too far, I'm just gonna run this extension cable through that little hole there, out through this piece of trim, down around the back, and then we'll wire it up to the fuse box itself. Zip tie everything up in there. So it's that black cord back there. I didn't even end up having to zip tie it. I just looped it over the little fuse box behind the power commander, or excuse me, pedal monster, and then ran it behind the HVAC. Kind of just hung it there, right up over the top of the HVAC, and then right down in here, and snaked over to our connector. All right, so now that we got our connector wired up, everything prepared up under the dash, we're gonna snake our power wire through that tiny little bit of daylight where I've already removed the grommet for the hood release. Just to make things a little bit easier, I'm gonna take some painter's tape, tape this rod to the end of the connector, snake it through that tiny little hole down there in the back. Should definitely make it a little bit easier. I don't know if you can quite see it. That actually worked great. Rod is popping through that little hole. Should be able to pull it right through. All right, we got our wire through the hole right next to our connector. Now, where I've already plugged this little wire into the terminal prematurely, and there is a chance that I could plug it into the wrong terminal this time because it has to be in terminal 1, not terminal 2. I'm gonna wait a sec. I'm in no rush to mess this up. All wired up over here. About to go plug in the inside connector and get it hooked up to the little fuse box. All right, all plugged up. Got the grommet back in place the best I can. Looking good. All right, time to put it in. Maybe I'll try and get a video of myself actually installing this. I'm gonna try and get more videos of actual installs. Break out the other camera for the next video. We are cameraman-less at the moment. It's all good. All right, trim panel is all plugged up. Switches are wired up. Charger pad is back on. Let's get to putting this thing back together. All right, screen time. All right, head unit is in. 4 bolts across the top. This little trim panel is also in. 1 little bolt on the side. Left side bolster. Totally forgot to put this in first. All right, this came back out. The screen came back out. That piece went back in. The screen went back in. A little piece of trim back in. Back on track. Big piece of trim is going back in. This little piece goes back. We are back together. Let's go connect the batteries. Fire this up. All right, time to see who's been paying attention. If you have, you may have already realized I forgot to do something. If you do, let me know in the comments. As soon as those aux buttons didn't light up, I realized very quickly what I forgot, so I'm about to fix it real quick. So the little gray connector that comes off the fuse box, I forgot to plug in. Disconnected the battery again, plug that baby in, reconnected the battery. Let's go. Screen works. Nice little startup sequence. Truck starts, didn't blow up. Open and close driver window. Open and close passenger window. All right, moment of truth. Let's go. Bang. Let's go. Hell yeah. Got some big stuff coming for the truck next week. Gonna need at least a couple of these, maybe a few of them. Stay tuned. Upgrades coming for the Duallytron. So all in all, it's a pretty easy install. Without taking into account the film time or being down to wait for that final extension cable to come in the mail, I think we would have been about 2 hours for the complete install. Not too bad, all things considered. If you guys have any comments about what you saw in the video, feel free to drop a comment down below. And if you like what you saw, feel free to like the video, follow, subscribe, however I'm supposed to say all this. But yeah, we appreciate the support. Thank you.